Did you know that while Manchester United are staying quiet publicly, two elite names from Serie A are now shaping the club's summer thinking? One in midfield, one in attack. This is where the rebuild starts to take real form, with Casemiro expected to leave Old Trafford in the summer. Manchester United's recruitment focus has naturally shifted toward finding his long-term replacement, and once again, a familiar name has moved back to the top of the list. Ederson is firmly back on United's radar. The Brazilian midfielder has been a long-term target, not a short-term reaction. United scouts have followed his progress closely, impressed by his physical strength, tactical discipline, and ability to control space in the middle of the pitch. He offers energy without chaos, aggression without recklessness, qualities United believe are essential for the next version of their midfield. According to Italian outlet La Stampa, United would be willing to pay between 35 million and 40 million euros to secure Ederson's signature. That valuation is significant, but it also reflects careful planning rather than desperation. Team Talk have gone a step further, reporting that United have already made new inquiries about his availability. This is not just background interest, it's active groundwork. Carrick wants a midfielder who can anchor the team, protect the defense, and still move the ball forward with intelligence. Ederson fits that profile almost perfectly. And with Casemiro's departure looming, United know this is a decision they cannot afford to get wrong. But midfield is only one half of the picture. In attack, another heavyweight name is causing serious discussion inside Old Trafford: Rafael Leao. According to the Daily Mail, AC Milan are open to selling the Portuguese forward, but only for the right price. That price, however, is steep. Leao is believed to be valued at 80 to 85 million pounds, a figure that would test United's resolve and discipline in the market. United have been linked to Leao before, and for good reason. He is explosive, direct, and capable of changing games on his own. Pace, power, and unpredictability, the exact traits United have often lacked in wide areas during tight matches. However, this is not a straightforward race. Arsenal are also reportedly monitoring the situation, adding pressure and competition. And while Milan's willingness to sell opens the door, the valuation may yet become the biggest obstacle. United are determined not to overpay, unless the player is viewed as transformative. That's the key difference in this new era. United are no longer chasing names for headlines, they are weighing impact, fit, and value. Leao would be a statement signing, no doubt, but the club will only move if the numbers align with their broader strategy. When you place these two stories side by side, a clear pattern emerges. Ederson represents balance and structure. Leao represents flair and explosiveness. One stabilizes, the other elevates. Both reflect a club planning carefully for the next phase under Michael Carrick. Not reacting to pressure, not chasing panic deals, but building piece by piece. Nothing is decided yet. Negotiations, valuations, and competition will all shape what happens next. But one thing is certain: Manchester United are no longer drifting. They are identifying targets early. They are setting limits, and they are preparing for a summer that could redefine the spine and spark of the team. Quiet planning, serious names, clear intent. This is what a rebuild is supposed to look like. Meanwhile, the statement confirming Casemiro's departure may have quietly opened the door to an even bigger shock at Old Trafford, one involving Manchester United's captain, Bruno Fernandes. Manchester United supporters are still trying to process the fallout from the club's latest announcement, but behind the official wording and careful phrasing lies a story far bigger than just one exit. Casemiro's confirmed departure has sent ripples through the dressing room, the fan base, and the future planning of the club. And now Bruno Fernandes finds himself at the center of a growing storm. Casemiro and Bruno Fernandes arrived at Manchester United in different circumstances, but their journeys at Old Trafford became deeply intertwined. Over 4 intense seasons, they were the spine of the team. Leaders, survivors of chaos, winners in an era where trophies were rare. Together, they lifted the Carabao Cup. Together, they lifted the FA Cup. Together, they carried United through some of the club's most turbulent modern years. Casemiro's exit, now officially confirmed, was already a bombshell. The Brazilian's contract contained an extension clause, one United have chosen not to trigger. That single decision spoke volumes. It wasn't just about wages or age, it was about direction, a clean break, a line being drawn under a particular era. And once that line was drawn, attention immediately shifted to Bruno, because when one pillar goes, the others start to shake. Internally, United are said to be reassessing the leadership structure of the squad. Casemiro was one of the dressing room's senior voices, and his exit leaves a vacuum, one Bruno has carried almost alone for some time. At 31, the Portuguese midfielder is no longer viewed as part of a long-term rebuild, but rather a bridge between the past and whatever comes next. That's where the exit bombshell narrative begins. While no official statement has confirmed Bruno Fernandes' departure, sources close to the situation suggest United are preparing for a defining conversation. The club want clarity. They want to know whether Bruno sees his future beyond the next season at Old Trafford, or whether this summer marks the beginning of the end. The Casemiro statement changed the tone. It showed United are no longer afraid to let go of big names. It showed sentiment no longer overrides strategy. And it showed no one is untouchable. Bruno Fernandes has been the face of United's fight. Even when performances dipped, even when managers came and went, he ran, he created, he argued, he dragged standards upward. But that burden has been heavy and increasingly lonely. With Casemiro gone, Bruno would lose not just a teammate, but a fellow leader who understood the pressure of elite expectations. For a captain already carrying enormous responsibility, that matters. United's hierarchy now face a brutal question. Do they rebuild with Bruno or because of him? There is also the commercial and sporting reality. Bruno still has value, significant value. If United decide to reshape their midfield identity, cashing in on their captain while they still can may be viewed as a necessary, if painful, step. From the outside, it feels unthinkable. From inside the boardroom, it feels possible. What makes this situation explosive is the symbolism. Casemiro and Bruno represented the win-now era. Experience, authority, short-term ambition. Their combined success, Carabao Cup, FA Cup, validated that approach for a moment. But United are no longer chasing moments, they are chasing sustainability. Casemiro's departure is the first confirmation of that shift. Bruno's future will be the ultimate test of it. For now, Bruno remains a Manchester United player. He remains the captain. He remains central to Michael Carrick's plans on the pitch. But the noise is growing. The questions are getting louder. And the club's recent decisions suggest sentimentality is no longer guiding policy. One era already ended. Another may be closer than anyone wants to admit. And if Casemiro's farewell was the warning shot, Bruno Fernandes may soon be facing the hardest decision of his United career. Meanwhile, Sunday afternoon at the Emirates was supposed to be another reminder of the gap between Manchester United and the Premier League's best. Arsenal were top of the table. United were under new leadership. The odds were clear. But football has a habit of ignoring logic. And what followed was one of the most dramatic Manchester United wins in recent memory. And watching it all unfold from the stands was Sir Jim Ratcliffe. Manchester United's co-owner attended the game alongside CEO Omar Barada and sporting director Jason Wilcox. No grand gestures, no speeches, just quiet observation as his club delivered a performance full of resilience, courage, and belief. United went toe-to-toe with the league leaders and refused to back down. Arsenal pushed, United responded. Arsenal scored late, equalizing through Mikel Merino in the 84th minute, and the Emirates erupted. For most teams, that would have been the end. Heads drop, legs tire, momentum swings, but not this Manchester United. Just 3 minutes later, Matheus Cunha delivered the twist nobody expected. A goal that silenced the stadium, stunned Arsenal, and sealed a massive 3-2 victory for United. A moment of clarity and chaos. A moment that felt symbolic of something bigger happening at the club. As Ratcliffe left the stadium, reporters tried to get a reaction. He initially waved them away. "No, no, no," he said. Then, with a smile, he added, "Just get the smile," gesturing that his lips were sealed. But one question slipped through. Was he happy? Very. Yeah. 2 words. Simple, powerful, telling. That reaction mattered because this result didn't happen in isolation. It came during a period of real change at Manchester United. Ratcliffe's regime made the bold call to sack Ruben Amorim amid rising tensions with the board. It was not a popular decision in every corner, but it was decisive. Darren Fletcher stepped in as caretaker for 2 matches. Then came the appointment of Michael Carrick as head coach until the end of the season, a move that raised eyebrows but is now starting to look inspired. Carrick's first game, in charge, a win over Manchester City. His second, a stunning victory away at Arsenal. 6 points, 2 giants beaten, United climbing to 4th place. Speaking after the match, Carrick was calm but clearly proud. "It was a good day," he told the BBC. "I think we had to put a lot into that game, an awful lot. Credit to the boys, so proud of them." United didn't dominate the ball. They didn't control every moment, but they showed character, something that has been questioned too often in recent years. We had a setback, come back strong. Had a setback towards the end,